right, we're glad to have you back. I still have my guest with me in the studio, and gentlemen, of course, as we know, uh, Donald Trump was sworn in, or the inauguration took place on Monday, being making him the 47th U.S. president. And this is more like a comeback, of course, we know, yes. There was a Biden in between his first tenure, and then now he's back. And he seemed to come in, a whole lot of force. And then there's this America First, policy that has been going on, and he seems to, be doing a lot, and he came prepared. But I mean, we are going to be looking at his comeback and how it will, be affecting Nigeria. I mean, we've seen a few of his policies being rolled out, some are already in action as we speak. But let's even come to his inauguration and all. Do you see this as an advantage to Nigeria, if I would put it that way? Well, let's even come first. How excited are you about his re-election?
Donald Trump is my man of the year.
Okay.
Even though the year has not ended. Even though the year has not ended. Actually, I think the world order needed somebody to shake it up. And okay. I am happy that we have one old man doing the job. Now, I said an old man because I think Donald Trump is 77, 78.
Yes. 78.
Okay. So one big lesson for Nigeria in the first place is that age is nothing but a number. So long as you are strong enough, you are smart enough, you can think enough, you are coherent enough, you could put 1 on 1 or 2 or 2 policies together, you are good to go. And you can see it from him, from Donald Trump. Of course, he took over for an 81-year-old man, who, so, like I said, age is nothing but a number. But if you keep the issue of age is nothing but a number aside, you also get to the issue of the man was prepared for the job.
Yeah, obviously.
The questions we need to ask ourselves as Nigerians is, how many of those people who have aspired for presidency or governorship or senatorship or councillorship or even local government chairmanship are prepared for the job? Because the man hit the ground running.
From day one.
In fact, from the very first second. If you listen to his opening speech after he was sworn in, you will know that the only reason that stopped him from committing some people to prison at that particular moment is just because he doesn't have a pen and a paper to sign an executive order. But having said that, yes, the man was prepared for the job. But like I said, how many of our leaders are doing that? If it were here in Nigeria, our leaders would probably take 2 to 3 weeks still celebrating the fact that they are in office. If you want to ask, you say, don't you know that the president just got sworn in? But in his own case, the man hardly slept in the White House, but he had done what will take years to undo. So I want to first and foremost say, the man came prepared. Then, thirdly, lessons for Nigeria again. If you want to look at it very well, Nigeria and indeed Africa do not really feature prominently in any of Donald Trump's plans. Somebody will say, why am I saying so? I want you to cast your mind back to even his first tenure when he was president. Yes. His first tenure when he was president, his major sticking point was China's business attitude, which he tried to correct, and he dealt with it. The thing is that while he was dealing with that, the advantage Africa and Nigeria actually had was that China had to now mellow down in its trade policies with Nigeria and other African countries because they were losing America, and they were losing America fast. But aside from that, he was not really touchy about African continent, because in his first tenure, the first thing he did was to slam some 6-10 Muslim countries and stopped them from entering America, which created the travel and tourism hula bala for about 6 months of that year completely. Now he's already at it again, and he's going to do that. He's going to go back to some of those policies, for that. So he's going to force China to have a human face and look at some of the trade businesses that it is doing with other countries outside the United States of America, which is his biggest trading partner. So that is where we have an advantage. In terms of the fear that he's going to deport.
Yeah.
You ask yourself, are we close to Mexico? Are we close to Canada?
Is it just Mexico?
Wait. Yeah, because those are the countries that have borders with. Those are the countries that have millions of people moving from other countries. In our own case, you have to fly over. And if you are flying over, there are some basic documentations that you must have before you can even attempt to land in the airport, not to say enter America. So in that case, they have virtually checkmate that particular aspect. So you don't really expect so much of Nigerians going to US, except in a situation whereby you have Nigerians who are living in US illegally. What do I mean by illegally? They have expired documents and they have not renewed it. Other than that, we may not have immigration problems with America. You get me? He is not expecting it. We are not expecting it either. Not even the whole of African countries expect it. The other aspect where you say, will he touch us or he will not touch us? Of course, it's in the area of giving out aids. He has already suspended it for 3 months. He needed to look at it very well. And in any case, if you want to look at it again, Nigeria, right from the beginning, in its first tenure, we failed that integrity test, and we were actually one of those countries that he banned from having aids from all US agencies because of our
corruption.
Well, it's not just corruption, because if you look at it, the human right that was during Buhari's era, when Buhari even went and tried to crucify him, and he told Buhari, no, I won't do it because your human rights record is terrible. You have the Chibok girls issue, which was their insecurity, and it was rising very high. You also have the various form of religious killings up north, which when he asked President Buhari couldn't defend any, and he told him, if you want me to help you, go back and sort out these two issues and come back, which the president couldn't do. And even up to today, as we're talking to you, a lot of people have made noise, make money out of the Chibok girls' Japan, but none of the Chibok girls have come back. Meanwhile, you have a lot of other children that have been taken from schools and all those things that have come back. So what is a mystery about the Chibok girls' disappearance with the other? Then you find out that there are a lot of religious killings still going up north. So why have you not stopped it? So if you look at it very well and you go to President Trump and he calls for your file, that's the Nigerian file, and he realized that 4 years ago or 8 years ago, this was the problem, and he asked, has it been solved? And it has not been solved. And you say, they are not yet serious. But basically,
okay, let's have Mr. Sunday into the discussion.
Yeah, I think
Trump.
He's Trump, just like the next son.
Yeah.
Just like the next son. But the interesting thing about him, is that he has been able to douse this tension of this threat of Third World War. And he has promised he's going to do everything to prevent it. All right? He's going to intervene in Russia-Ukraine
Yeah.
war. The Gaza is there. So I think that is the interesting thing about him coming. But personally, if he had asked me, I would have wanted to tell what to talk about.
Why?
Honestly, I wanted to see the supremacy between Russia and America, between China and America, between North Korea and America. You get it.
But aren't you also thinking about the after effects of that?
I'm okay. The world is so wicked. Are you enjoying this Nigeria we are living in? What is your business?
We are all in the war.
When I show this thing, I want this to happen, you know. So, but again, the guy has been able to douse that tension, and I think he's going to put in that diplomatic expertise to see that the global system is reorganized towards peace and security. So, having said that, you know, like he has talked about Nigeria, it's time for African leaders, Nigerian leaders, to look inward. It doesn't look like somebody who's going to tolerate anything from elsewhere.
Seems to be a strict person.
Yes, very strict, very rigid. And he understands what the issues are. That's one thing. Because that's, you know, he has been president before he was inaugurated.
Yes.
Even after that, even before the election, he has always been president.
Yes.
You know, discussing issues, fundamental issues. And he declared the direction he was going before the election. Yet he won. After the election, he was still going in that direction. So this, like he said, Steve said, he was prepared for the job. But fundamentally, he understands what the issues are. And this is what we are lacking in Nigeria. This is what we are lacking in Africa. We don't have leaders who understand what the issues are. What they will tell you, oh, we'll create jobs, we'll do this, we'll do that. But they don't discuss issues. When they even get it, they don't even know what the issues are. They keep on rolling policies. They'll say, oh, we are doing reform. Reforms that are killing citizens. Look at what Trump is doing. Creating opportunities for American citizens. Protecting American economy.
I mean, America first.
It's not just don't even look at the American first issue, because the American first issue is a policy that he started when he came in first. Look at 24 hours after he was sworn in. $500 billion US.
Yes, investment.
Investment.
Yes.
Now that investment
that's foreign investment.
That investment is not coming from the government. And that was where I was telling you, I said, the Nigerian Labour Congress has not defended the Nigerian worker. If you hold the government by the jugular, you are talking about the government. The government have the capacity to do and undo. This is private investment from Japan, from Europe. 500 billion on what? AI. They don't even have office on ground, but the money is already there. And he's telling Americans that we will create 100,000 US jobs within the next 6 months.
And of course, Trump can do it.
It's not about Trump doing it, because this is private investment. It's not government money. So if he can trap private investors to have confidence in him, to bring that kind of money, to drop into an economy that is more than developed already. What are you talking about? A government that is supposed to be developing and should be able to have the strength to convince people and say, look, we have this, we have this, we have this, drop this money here. We can assure you that it will be done this way, and we will do this, and we will do this, and we will do this, and live by your word.
Okay. Now,
because we have leaders who are not, their own preparation is, oh boy,
they're only prepared for what they will get.
What they will get, but not what they will deliver to the people. They don't have the interest of the people at heart.
All right. So now, how can Nigeria position itself, benefit from these Donald Trump's, policies and his regime? Because I feel like we really need, to have a very good bilateral relation with the US. To at least looking at our economic situation as a country. How do you think we can position ourselves to, get the support and the good relations we need from the US?
Well, my fear is we will be able to develop, to have a government that is responsive to the people. That is the question. Because when they do their statistics over there, the statistics are, like Steve mentioned, human rights issues. Human rights records, security or insecurity, then the issue of corruption and order. How can the government work on those indices and see, okay, that these things are being put right before the international community? That is what. Then how do you now work to encourage production, your domestic economy in the first instance? Because you cannot just go out there and say, oh, you come and do this. What are you producing? What are you manufacturing?
What do you have in your
How do
hands?
you balance the trade balance? How are you going to balance it? So those are the things. So until we begin to look inward and have our domestic policies right, we cannot get that right outside. Look at the way he's going. He's confident about the U.S. domestic policies. So he's not relying on external policy. Look at his plan to annex Canada. You know, that region in Canada, annex that region in Mexico, integrate it to the United States. Okay? So he's taking the whole country to the U.S., taking part of Mexico into the U.S. because it's coming from inward. So until you build that self-confidence of your domestic policies, you hardly can just move out there and say, oh, let me influence the international system. Okay? I think I was a part who told me, there was a professor who was delivering a lecture. They went for international conference. You know, now it was Minister of Education. And they say, the professor, he said Nigeria, he was there. He said that the education minister from Nigeria, he now came, oh, government has allocated over 200 billion on education. And he said, oh, now they look at her and they say, and so what? You know? And the man was like, so it's not, the international system is not a prestige environment. It's a problem-solving environment for domestic government. You know? Now, and the professor said that the education minister from Kenya came up and said, oh, that in Kenya, that they went to a local community in the hinterland, and they discovered that the children, they have high intelligence quotient. That they are so intelligent that they can understand, they are quick to understanding, they are quick to this technology and all that. So they are quick to learning, and they need fun to get these children and get them well educated. And one said, it's a Nigerian man. He said that before that conference ended, that nations of the world started contributing money for Kenya. What do we come back with? What's our diplomatic policy in Nigeria? Pride. The president will go there and tell you, oh, we are contending Boko Haram. And we were here, there are people here in Nigeria. When you go and get solution to your problem, you are going with pride. You are giving them false information and all that. Okay? You will not tell them, oh, the economy is growing at 1,000% and all that. And the economy is sinking. How will you get help? So we start from and tell ourselves the truth. And go to the international system with truth and with good diplomatic relations. And I think that is the only way. Because if we keep going with all these false statistics and false information, we cannot benefit anything.
All right. Let's have Mr. Steve last words.
Nigeria is a wonderful country.
Of course.
And I am personally, I'm proud to be a Nigerian. Okay. Even though if you ask me deeply, I will tell you, I wish that I have the instruments of power. I would have done it the other way around. I'm sorry, but I think some individuals in this country who had the opportunity of being in power actually had the heart to do what they needed to do. But unfortunately, either the situation, they were overwhelmed by the situation of things, or they allow no external forces will do that. They allow greed to take over and do and lead them aside. So let me start by saying by going forward. In I don't know whether it's during President Trump era, when Governor Sanwo-Olu first came into this country, one of the things he did, came in as a governor of Lagos State, one of the things he did was to go to China, put his influence, his mouth where his hands are, and convince GAC Motors to come to Nigeria to start assembling cars. Now, a lot of people will have thought that is a bad business venture or anything like that. But can you imagine how many of those 36 governors are in this country right now? because most of them will have told you that they are going abroad to go and look for investors. 3 years later, you will not see any investor. So who brought in those guys? Those guys are in Ogba. And we have all seen GAG motors in Lagos these days. I don't think Lagos state government buys cars from any other car manufacturer. They buy their own car from GAG motors because GAG motors give them rebates. Now, I know where I'm going to, and I'm going to break it down in the next 2-3 minutes so that people will understand what I'm going to. Just give me, yes, just give me. The world right now, the major problem of the world right now economically is AI, lack of microchips. Microchips, I'm talking about companies like Nvidia and Snapdragon who are making smart microchips for computers, for electronic cars, for what have you. Now, with GAG motors coming in, China is the biggest manufacturer of electronic cars around. We are having an economic problem with fuel. Is it not easy for Lagos state government to now convince GAG motors to go into the production of electronic cars in Lagos? You will sit down here and say, okay, we don't have enough electricity, what and what and what. But we don't have electricity to power handsets, and people buy power banks. Yes, that's because...
guarantee that with electronic cars.
Yes, and you can still guarantee that with electronic cars because people have generators in their houses.
You will carry it on about.
Big generators in their houses with...
If you are traveling from here to Port Harcourt to Kano.
Oga, it will still go. Oga, it will still go.
You use power bank to charge it?
Yo, you charge your car. If you charge your car for 8 hours, if you charge your car, it's there, it's proven. Go to any of these Chinese electronics car manufacturer, even Tesla in the US, they will tell you that if you charge your car for 8 hours, that car can give you 12 to 14 hours drive.
Yeah, how many hours it takes to travel from there?
Then how many hours will it take you to travel from here to Abuja?
To Maduguri.
Do you take 18 hours? If you travel,
you recharge.
Okay, this one that you are talking to Maduguri, people travel from here to Abuja, rest in Maduguri, in Abuja for 2-3 days before they take off to Maduguri.
So
don't try to throw this thing into. We can still make it.
Of course we can.
We can still make it if we're charming too.
All right, gentlemen, our time is already far gone, but thank you so much to Mr. Steve Aya, the Financial Secretary, GPAN, which is the Guild of Public Affairs Analyst. And thank you so much to Mr. Sunday Dibashi, editor of National Daily Newspaper. Thank you, for your time. It has indeed been an interesting conversation. I myself enjoyed our discussion.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, and I'm sure our viewers out there as well also did enjoy the conversation we had today. If you sure did enjoy today's episode, then